Hello, my darlings. It's lovely to see you again. It's Mental Health Awareness Week. Imagine that. By Sunday, any of us who have had any mental health issues whatsoever, it's going to magically disappear. You didn't know that, did you? Nor did I. Wouldn't that be lovely? Big wand is going to happen. And all of a sudden, we're all going to not have any mental health issues or challenges whatsoever. How about that? Well, obviously, we all know that's rubbish. And awareness, for me, is such an empty word. It's like telling somebody you're nice or fine. Those words should be banned. They're so grey. They're so boring. When you have a mental health issue or challenge, it can cripple your life. Pre-COVID, we had 80,000 diagnosed severely depressed under 10-year-olds. You know, if you're neurodiverse, pre-COVID, you were 2 to 6 times more likely to pick up a mental health issue, boys being twice as likely as girls. You know, we have 64 men a week in the UK taking their own lives. That's 1 every 2 hours. Between March and October last year, you know, our suicide rate leapt by a whopping 39%, and we're currently we have the highest suicide rate in the world, in the UK right now. There's people suffering with huge anxiety, and, you know, having moments of anxiety, as I've said before, is really, really different from actually being anxious the whole time, you know, having to be medicated for that. You know, it just grabbing you when you don't expect it and you don't know why, and crippling, disabling your life, literally disabling it. That's how awful it is. You know, I'm seeing so many children and young adults at the moment, and it's awful. It's been hard for me not to cry when they've cried. You know, I'm seeing this, and you're not on your own. And I want to give you today tools to really, really help you with anxiety, PTSD, mental health in general. And if you want to know any more about this, I'm accompanying this video with a short 2-minute read article for Anna Kennedy online, where I'm her charity wellbeing ambassador. It's all free, and the 5 techniques for self-regulation that I'm going to share with you that you can use after Sunday. You can use them all year round, because, as I said, awareness, what even is that? You know, it's just a nod to something without really understanding it. And I know in the schools as well, there's very little understanding of mental health. You know, they just haven't got time, and it's easy to blame teachers. But, you know, as I've always said, these directives come from above. And yeah, money's been released for mental health in schools, but it's a bit like when you fight for funding for your child, you know, doesn't always go in that pot with the name on it. So these are things that you can do all year round. They're 5 simple techniques. As I say, log on to annakennedyonline.com if you would like to know more, and there will be a free downloadable printout of what I'm going to share with you today. And you can do this whatever your ability, disability, neurodiversity, situation, financial budget. If you're on your own, these are things that you can use to help you. So they're really empowering as well. And that's what I'm all about. I like to really empower people. If you're a therapist, please use this freely. Mix it in with your therapy sessions. You know, I'm here to share. I always say every week, I don't make any money from this. I just want to share. And it's really, I know this sounds extreme, but it is. It feels like it's tearing my heart and my tummy to pieces. Just hearing people and feeling how they feel when they come and see me. And so I just want to share these 5 simple things with you, whoever you are, to use for yourself, with others, or to show others, if they don't like being touched, how they can do it for themselves. And they are 5 self-regulation tools, especially for anxiety, PTSD, and mental health. So here we go. I'm behaving today. Don't know what's wrong with me. I think it's because I've cut down a bit on caffeine lately. Anyway, so they're just holding things. So you're not massaging, you're not pressing, it's just holding. And the first one is just holding the sides of your head. And I've said before in videos, they used to say that the neurotransmitter oxytocin, the hormone of love and nurture, which stimulates emotional intelligence, is stimulated and released after just 40 seconds. They've now discovered that it's actually released after 20. So just by holding your head, the sides of your head, you are actually releasing this neurotransmitter oxytocin within 20 seconds. And love and nurture and emotional intelligence is just what we need to help regulate anxiety, to give us clarity, to bring the heart rate and blood pressure down. You know, physically on the cognitive brain, you're actually on the sides of the head, the parietal lobes. You've got the ability to stimulate social cognition, reading and processing faces. So if you're autistic or you have another sort of neurodiversity, you know, you're stimulating that too, absolutely neuroscientifically on the head. So you're doing all sorts of things just by simply doing this. And if you're in an exam, or you're in the office, or you're, I don't know, working in a foster home, or you just need that time out, you can just put your elbows on the table and do that. And honestly, that's what you're doing on a neuroscientific level. Doesn't look weird. It's not disturbing anybody. So you can do it very discreetly and at any time. The second one you can do is put your hand on your forehead and the other one behind your head, and you just hold there. So you're doing this for literally just a minute or so. You could do it for less, you know, depending on how much time you've got. But I've been doing this a lot lately, and this one is really fantastic because at the back of your head, right at the base of your skull, where the bottom of the head joins the neck, you've got your occipital ridge. My rainbow kids and I call it the octopus ridge. And when you just gently hold there, you're literally bringing the body to stillness. You're lowering the heart rate and blood pressure, because that's what the still points do. You've got still points running along just underneath that ridge. And when you put your hand on your forehead, right in the center of your forehead, you have an area that stimulates melatonin through touch. And melatonin is all about sleep, mood, and aggression. So it's a really calming one. And even just doing this now, talking with you, is actually making me calm. How about that? That's a miracle in itself, isn't it? I'm calm. Thank God it's on film, because, you know, I'm quite excitable. The next one is you keep your hand on your forehead and you put one hand on your heart. So again, you're keeping that oxytocin and melatonin going. And the heart, you're calming the heart rate, calming the blood pressure. The heart is all about how we're feeling right now. So it's present. So you're bringing yourself into the present and you're calming down all those feelings that are racing around when you've got a PTSD trigger, an anxiety trigger, or you are just really, really struggling with a mental health illness, issue or challenge. So from there, you keep your hand on your heart and you put your hand on your tummy. I think you can see my tummy. There you go, heart and tummy. And the tummy is actually, you're directly on the gut, and the gut is the second brain. As you know, I've said this many, many times. You probably want to shoot me. So it's where we push down past emotions, trauma, things we haven't digested. The second brain used to be our first brain, and it communicates all the time through the vagus nerve on that gut-brain axis, checking in whether we need to be in fight or flight or not. So when you put your hand on your tummy and your hand on your heart, you're dealing with how you feel presently, but those deep-seated triggers, those deep-seated traumatic events in your life, or things you're shoving down for another day because you're trying to just get through this day. And sometimes some people are getting through minute by minute, not even day by day. So this is deeply calming. And you've literally just got your hands on. So there's not even really much pressure and you're in charge of it. So for autistic people, for instance, who are very touch averse, if you're a therapist out there, if you get them to do this for themselves and mirror you, they're in charge of the touch and it will work. You know, whenever I work with anybody who's touch averse or it tickles or burns them, because it really does, if you put them in charge of it, that's the key. That's how you meet them where they are and help them be empowered by having those tools that they can then use going forwards, and tell them why it works. You know, it's about educating and empowering, which is why I really can't stand the word awareness. You know, words like awareness, fine, nice, should be banned from the English dictionary. They should be banned because they don't mean anything. They've got no colour. They're insipid, meaningless words. So I'm going to stop ranting and make sure I stay calm. Okay, I'm doing really well today. Are you proud of me? There we go. And then from there, you put your hand on your solar plexus. Now, your solar plexus is just kind of at the top of your ribs, just underneath that sternum there. And it's the seat of will, your willpower. And in some people, it's squashed flat. It's also the seat of immunity. So this, again, can either really boost you and fill you up, or if your will is out there because you're fighting everything because it's all just awful and you've got this terrible PTSD, which, you know, that's so horrible when you get that. It's an evil, cruel mental health illness to suffer from. And this helps bring you back into control when you put your hand on your solar plexus and then put your hand on the back of your head again, like we did before. So you've got the bottom of your hand there, your thumb, the edge of your thumb and the ridge of your hand resting just on that ridge. So you're bringing the body to stillness again. You're on those still points and you've got your hand on your will, the solar plexus. And that in its, all of these are just very, very holding, very, very simple. And if you have really severe mobility issues and you can't manage all 5 of those, if you like touch, somebody can do them for you. But I think there will be at least 1 or 2 in those that everybody could do. So just do what you're comfortable with, or work with on a friends and family basis, or if you're a therapist, use these things in your work. But these holding, self-holding techniques are invaluable. And I've been using them a lot at the moment because I've been going through some quite extraordinary things, and which is why I haven't seen you for 2 weeks. And I have found these to be they're gold, they're golden. So I really hope this helps. I really, you know, it should really, if I was in charge, I would call this week Mental Health Empowerment Week, because it's no good just being aware. We need to be educated about this and have those tools to either share with others or use for ourselves. So I've done quite well today, 13 minutes, and I've been well behaved. I feel like sticking a big gold star on my forehead, but I've got some sessions and it might look a bit weird. So I won't. But anyway, I'm wishing you all safe and happy times ahead. And I'll be back next Monday with more tips and techniques, you know, and you've got a whole, you know, I'm like one of those buffets where you go in and you can pick what you want, you know. And so choose what works for you. Use it by all means. That's what I'm here for. And just stay safe, everybody. Keep talking and keep looking out for yourselves and looking out for and after each other. There needs to be more kindness. You know, that's true awareness. So take care, everybody, and I shall see you next week. Bye-bye.